Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy For Now. It's me, Isabel, here with a really fun vlog today for you. So I have 6 graphic novels for you today that Bethany picked out for me from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and in exchange she read some mangas I picked out for her. So the big thing here is, I'm not going to tell you about them because I'm literally going to cut to me unboxing them in a minute, but I hope you're excited. I'm really excited for this project. I think this was so much fun and I really enjoyed doing it. Again, I'm just kind of hoping y'all also enjoy it. I would like to do this with some more people, I feel like. So if you have people in mind, let me know. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get right to it, and we'll cut to me unboxing these a little while ago. These are the things she told me about the books she picked. She said 2 are my favorite nonfiction graphic novels. 1 is the best graphic sci-fi novel I've read from one of my favorite authors. It has to be N.K. Jemisin. Queer feminist horror, a cool sci-fi fantasy that draws on West African mythology, and the first book in a classic dystopian series that doesn't totally age well but is still very compelling. So I have, oh my goodness, these are so heavy. I have this box and this box bag from her. So I'm gonna open those and let's see what I got. Okay, there's 2 in here. Oh, I did not expect that. Okay, so first we have, ooh, The Low Woods by Carmen Maria Machado and Danny Tamron Bonvillian. I think I said that right. This is a DC Black Label comic. I'm really excited for this. I do like Carmen Maria Machado, what I've read of her. I've not read like a full book, but I've read bits and pieces of some of hers. So I'm assuming this is the horror. This is March, book 1. It is John Lewis, Andrew Aiden, and Nate Powell. I'm assuming this is about John Lewis's life. I'm excited about this one. I haven't looked at this one before. I've never picked it up, but it's one that I could definitely see myself loving and picking up the next volume. Open the box. Okay. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Okay. Next we have The Best We Could Do. This is by Taibu. This is a, I think I'm saying that right. I might be saying that wrong and I apologize. I will have to look that up. This is a nonfiction memoir, and I love a graphic memoir. One of my favorites. Ooh, she. Okay. Yeah, okay, I think the bottom one there. Okay, anyways, next we have Djeliya. This is the West African fantasy inspired one by Junie Ba. I love this cover. This looks fun. I'm so excited. Like, this is just like my fave. Ooh, okay. This is one that I've wanted to pick up for a while, and I know it hasn't aged well, and the author has spoken about the aging of this comic, but I'm still really interested in it, and that is The Last Man, Why the Last Man, Why the Last Man, volume 1, and I'm really excited because this is by Brian K. Vaughan, which if you know I love saga. I have read some other stuff by Brian K. Vaughan. I didn't love Paper Girls, but I do want to try and revisit it now that it's complete. But yeah, this is by Brian K. Vaughan, P. Guerra, and Jose Marzan Jr. This is one that I think is really interesting because so many people love it. And of course, I knew this had to come, but Far Sector by N.K. Jemisin, which has been on my graphic novels TBR for a while, and I do want to read it. I just keep not picking it up, and I already am like obsessed with this cover. But I'm so freaking excited to dive in. I'm not sure which one I'll start with. It's probably gonna be a mood-based thing. I'm gonna be reading these over probably a few weeks here. I doubt I'll read them all like within a short time span, so you're gonna see transitions changes, location changes. I'm seriously pumped. I am starting my graphic novels that Bethany sent me. And we're starting with Why the Last Man. I've just read issue 1 in the comic in the bind up, like in the you know what I'm saying, in the book, and it's really interesting so far. I do know like loosely a lot of the concept of Why the Last Man. Going in, this is interesting too because I generally speaking have not enjoyed any of Brian K. Vaughan's work that is not saga. And I gotta say that first issue has been a lot because it is loaded with so much, and again, I know the time period it's from, so like it makes sense, and you know, he said that he would go back and change a lot of things. It's loaded with so much gender essentialism and not great language, so that's interesting to read. Now, you know, years after it was originally written. I don't know what year Why the Last Man originally came out, to be honest with you. I will look that up once I finish the next volume and talk to you about it. But yeah, so issue one's over, and basically, you know, all the men have died except for our boy, Yorick. And we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm currently about halfway through this, which is like 240 some pages. Continuing thoughts. I feel no connection to this main character, which is interesting, but I'm really interested in the world. I also still continue to be uncomfortable with some of the language, but I went and Googled it because couldn't remember what year this came out, and it's 2003. So like a lot of the language, well, now we know is wrong for 2003, almost 20 years ago. It makes a lot more sense. It also like is really interesting, some of the Democrat Republican stuff, and like there's discussion of Roe v. Wade in here, and just things that, like, you know, in 2003 I wasn't paying attention to necessarily. I was a kid. But I find interesting now as an adult. I mean, I was in high school, but still, you know what I mean? Like I still wasn't well versed yet, but I find interesting reading now as an adult and like this far removed from it and how much things have shifted. But yeah, I'm really curious. They just picked up the doctor person, the lady who like made a clone basically, and they're trying to figure out what to do next. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be right back to talk to you about the end of it. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a 4-star for me. I think it's an interesting concept. It's just a hard read in a way because it does have so much outdated language. Like there's so many slurs in this book that it's mind-boggling. Okay, so I have finished Why the Last Man, right here, book 1. And I've added all 5 books to my wish list. So I guess I do want to read more. Caveats here. I feel like if you're gonna pick this comic up, this trade up, just be prepared for a lot of slurs and a lot of things that Brian K. Vaughan has said he would change if he could. So I do appreciate that fact and the knowledge that like things in here are not okay, a lot of them. But I really liked it. Like, I really liked it. I am giving it a 4. I'm really curious about the world and a lot of the things with it. Again, it feels very of its time to an extent, and I can view it in that point of time and be like, huh, this is really interesting to read. But yeah, I'm like curious enough that I'm definitely gonna pick up more volumes of this sooner than later, and gave it a 4-star. I didn't expect that. I really thought it was gonna be a 3-star for me, but I definitely think it was hard to connect with Yorick. I'm mostly interested in the female society aspect of this. Obviously it's written from a man's perspective, so like, but it's still enjoyable. And I still think it's really interesting. I've not really connected with Yorick at all personally as I've read this volume, but I just am so curious about everything else going on that, yeah, I'm pretty much sold. So we're gonna dive into our next one, which will be a pretty quick read, which is the Lolo Woods from, oh, that is upside down. Hold on. We're gonna dive into our next one, which is The Lolo Woods by Carmen Maria Machado, Danny and Tamra Bonvillian, something like that. I'm really excited. This is from Hill House Comics. This sounds spooky and I felt like I should read it before it gets too dark out tonight, so that's what we're gonna do. Finished another graphic novel this evening, which was The Lolo Woods by Carmen Maria Machado. So this is my this is the second one I've read from the stack from Bethany, and I loved this. So this is definitely like not open-ended story, but I feel like it's like an interpretive, like, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And the horror of it is how like these women were treated and taken advantage of because of this water that would make them not remember things. And it just kind of followed the journey of like why there are these weird monsters in the woods. And I really liked it. It wasn't too creepy either. And Bethany and I are like, I feel like she's a little braver than I am with this stuff, but she knows I'm a scaredy cat. So this worked really well for me and I really enjoyed it. I'm curious to read more comics by Carmen Maria Machado and also more of her fiction, because I actually haven't explored her fiction that much, if at all really. So I need to do that. But I really loved this. I think for any of my followers who liked like Sylvia Moreno Garcia type stuff, I feel like you would probably enjoy this. I think this is a great read, especially if you want to read it like next September. in peak like spooky season, it would be a very good option. So yeah, that was the Low Woods. I'm giving that a 5-star rating to my 4-star for Why the Last Man. So far we're doing good. I think I'm gonna read Djeliya is how I think you say this. I could be completely wrong, and if I am, please someone correct me, but that's what I think it's pronounced as. And yeah, I just am not sure. But yeah, I'm gonna read this, which is an West African fantasy epic. It is based on a West African folklore, or inspired by a West African folklore, not based on, about a prince and his royal storyteller and their journey to reach a wizard. I really love the art of this. I was reading the author bio, and he loved like Cartoon Network, and the art gives me very like Samurai Jack feelings and all that. So I'm just really like, look at that. It feels like Powerpuff, Samurai Jack, like there's that mix of that peak really awesome Cartoon Network era. So I'm very excited to read this. I'm gonna go wash my face first though, and then probably dive into this tonight. I don't know if I'll finish it tonight or not, but I would like to maybe get through at least half of it. I need to see how long it actually is though, and then decide from there. So I'll talk to y'all in a bit. Okay, good morning, I'm back. I read about half of Djeliya last night and this morning. I'm gonna finish it, but I have to note that I'm just like, I love the art in this, but right now I feel like the story for me, I'm not enjoying as much as I thought I would, but I'm like living for the art. Like the art is so fun and cool. So we'll see what I think by the end. Right now, I'm definitely sitting at more of a 3. I think for me, one of the struggles I'm having is that the story and the art aren't like meshing perfectly in my brain, and it might just be a me thing right now. But it's like, it's one of those things where like, cause it's a graphic novel, loving the art makes it hard to like not also love the story. And I could totally turn in a few pages, you know, that happens often where like I really love it. So I'm reading that. I'm gonna finish that in a minute. I'm about to get ready for the day, but I wanted to get like at least halfway through it and then finish it up here in a little bit. And then I just have the 3 left, which is gonna be Far Sector, March, book 1, which is what I'm gonna read next. And then The Best We Could Do is gonna be the last one I read, because I think this one's gonna make me cry. I'm almost positive this one's gonna make me cry. So I'm trying to like sandwich them. But yeah, I don't know what it is about the story in Djeliya that I'm just not connecting with. I think it's just, I feel like there hasn't been a lot of story yet, I think, and that's part of it. It's kind of us just following them on this weird adventure. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna keep reading it, but I'm gonna go get ready for the day, and then I'll come back to this for a little bit so I can finish that last little bit, and I'll update you then. Hello, I have finished Djeliya. I'm giving it a 3.5. I liked it. I do see why Bethany picked it for me. Like the art is amazing. And as soon as I felt my like, I'm confused, I was unconfused very quickly. Go figure. As soon as I was like, I'm lost, I got unlost. But yeah, so I'm giving this a 3.5. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's not like one I don't recommend. I would get it from your library probably versus owning it. But I'm excited to have it on my shelf because seriously, this art is stunning. I also, it's one that I could see myself rereading to see if I understand parts of it better and more after reading the back glossary section. I started March. I'm only a couple pages in and I'm really liking it already. And I love that we start in the semi-present day. We start when Obama is being inaugurated. And I think that's a really great point to start from to tell this story. And I'm as excited as you can be to read something like this. I do love visual memoirs, like graphic novel memoirs. So I think this is just gonna be so interesting. And I love that this exists because I do feel like for kiddos and stuff, like it's such a great way for them to learn more about John Lewis and about what happened when they were marching and stuff during the civil rights movement. My brain could not pull civil rights for some reason out of my head. I'm excited to read the rest of this today. I will be back to talk to you about it in a little bit when I probably finish this whole thing. Honestly, I doubt I'm gonna come to you midway through. I'm expecting a 5-star. I will be surprised if it's not. It's also like, I can't really rate someone's life story less than a 5-star. Like, you know, that's their story, but this is also like a monumental thing in history. So yeah, that's where we're at. I will be back. Hello. I finished March. 5 stars. I need the rest of it. I loved it. This is a great biography, memoir, graphic novel situation. Yeah, wow. If you've not picked this up and you're interested in it, I highly recommend. For me, I think the most striking thing is like we're going back, you know, we go back to like his childhood and on, and it's just really good. Like, this is really good. Great way to absorb the history of what John Lewis has done and things like that as well, because I think, you know, sometimes these things can be a little clunkier in text, and visually reading it with like graphics is a nice way to learn more. So that is done. We officially only have 2 left. 2 left. So I gotta figure out, I can't decide if I want to leave First Sector for last and read The Best We Could Do first, because this one is like clunky. My hands are a little sore right now from holding graphic novels. I may see if I can get this on Hoopla and read it digitally. But I think I'm gonna start The Best We Could Do instead of saving it for last, because I am worried that this is gonna be a lot heavier of a read overall. So I think we'll start there. And I will be back with some updates as I read this as well. I'm so excited, y'all. Like, I'm almost done, and this has been so much fun. All right, y'all, I finished another one. I finished reading in one very quick read, I feel like, The Best We Could Do by Taibu. I'm not sure. And I should have Googled it and I didn't. Anyways, this was amazing. So this follows her family's journey of immigrating to America from Vietnam and surviving the Vietnam War with the US part and the like communist China part. So like 1950s-ish through the 60s. And like Vietnam's French occupation, all these things. This was emotional, first of all. Like, first things first, this is a very emotional read. And it was a really insightful read because it was a great way to illustrate an immigrant's experience and like the trauma of a child of people who immigrated when she was a baby. So she doesn't remember Vietnam, but I loved this. 5 stars. It was beautiful. I think this is one of those ones that I highly recommend anyone pick up if you're looking for a graphic memoir, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. It is painful, honestly, at times, and very real. And the way it illustrates the traumas of war, I thought is really well done. I don't know. This felt like very human and just beautiful. Like, I wish I had better words to talk about this book because it just felt so, it was powerful. It was powerful like March, just in a different way, you know? Because it really showed the struggles of the family and where they are now and all the things, and you know, her moving forward with life obviously now, and like she has her own kid and she talks about that some, and like, I don't know, the way the story started and ended was like beautiful, and I loved the like continuity of it, I guess. Like how she tied them together. But yeah, absolute must read, and I think a lot of y'all will enjoy this, so highly recommend. Hello, I promise it's a new day. I am changed undershirts. I'm just in the same overshirt, but I'm like almost halfway through Far Sector right now. I downloaded it on my iPad so while I cooked dinner I could like read it in between without getting like something dirty. So I'm really enjoying this concept of the world where she's at that is like emotionless. Like, it's really interesting. Also, my kitchen's a mess because I've been cleaning it all day and organizing, but beyond the point, you'll see that in the next vlog at some point. Anyways, yeah, I'm just like, this is interesting. I'm really enjoying it though. I think it's such a fun concept and world happening. I think the world building is really interesting, and as always, N.K. Jemisin's writing is just spectacular, and she's translated really well to comics for this because that is like a hard transition to do. I've talked about it before with a lot of people. Like, we've talked about authors writing comics and how you have to learn to be less wordy and let the art really portray some of the story, and I feel like that's happening beautifully here. So I'm really enjoying this, and I will be done with it briefly, and then I'll probably do some makeup and fix up my hair into some space buns situation and go from there, because right now we're just rocking the double pigtails because I just didn't have the energy to wash it today. I mean, like, I showered, I just didn't want to wash my hair. It's a whole thing. I hate it here, but it's fine. I don't actually hate it, it's fine. It's just sometimes I just don't want to do it. So I didn't. But yeah, I will be back in a few to talk to you about the end of this book. All right, y'all, I just finished Far Sector, which was the last thing I had to read for this collab, and I am so happy I saved it for last. I know I kept bumping it around on the list when I was gonna read it, but this was an absolute delight. I wish I was surprised. I'm not, because it's N.K. Jemisin, but like, I'm not like a huge Green Lantern fan. I'm not like not a fan, I'm just like in the middle, right? Like everyone else, I don't really like the movies that they've done and some of that stuff, but like, I don't hate the Green Lantern at all. So I was hopeful and excited going into this for N.K. Jemisin's take on a Green Lantern, and I gotta say, it did not disappoint. I loved this. I gave it 5 stars. I think this was an absolute blast to read. I think it was a blast to go through, and honestly, like, one of the better iterations of a Green Lantern that I've read so far. Again, exposure is minimal on the Green Lanterns, but I have read some of them. So like, I have some familiarity with the story and stuff. So yeah, I really loved this. I loved Sojourner, or Jo, our heroine, who is navigating a world that emotions don't exist in, or aren't supposed to exist in, let's say, and figuring out what that means for her and for these people as she tries to help them solve a murder and what's going on. And it's so freaking good. It's so good, y'all. I really loved the character development. The romance arc in this was great. The plot was great. I was left guessing quite a bit on who and what was gonna happen. So like, you just can't beat that, you know? But yeah, this is definitely one that I'm gonna say I highly recommend people pick up. I can't wait to make Grumps read it because it was that good. So yeah, I am thrilled I read this. I gave it 5 stars. There's so much I could say, but I don't want to full on spoil it either. But I just have to say that the end, when we get a little bit of the Green Lantern oath, it made me smile real big. It made me smile real big about the choices she made, because she's trialing as a lantern for a year basically, and it's spectacular. So that is everything I read for this video. I'll have links to all of them down below, as well as links to Bethany's video down below, which you should check out, because I did pick out some manga for her to read, and I'm very excited to see what she thought of it, because some of them, I think she will have liked most of them, but we'll see. There is a possibility she didn't like a few. All right, y'all, thanks so much for watching. I will have links to Bethany's video down there for you. Be sure to go check her video out if you didn't come from there, because it's a total blast. I can guarantee it. I can't wait to have watched it. Obviously, I haven't seen it yet as I'm filming this, but I'm very excited to watch. And I would love if you left me a graphic novel recommendation or comic in the comments, or leave me a heart emoji of your choice if you don't want to do that. And I will have links to everything for you down there from what I read, and to be my friend anywhere on the internet. And I will see y'all in just a few days. Bye.
Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we